Hey everyone, it's Dominic from the Primetime Treasure eBay store and YouTube channel. Thanks so much for coming by to check out another video. This is part 3 of my bookkeeping for resellers video series. If you would like to see the first 2 parts of that video series, they will be linked down below in the description section. In part 1, I went over the 3 common programs that resellers tend to use to keep track of expenses over the course of the year, so that once it comes time for tax season, you are ready and prepared to get that information together in an efficient and stress-free manner. I went over when I covered those 3 programs, ones that cost money, but I also went over Microsoft Excel, which doesn't cost you anything. Zero, zilch, nada, nothing. So in the second video that I did, I went over some of the basics of using Microsoft Excel to keep track of just basic costs. But in this video, I want to go over with you how to use Microsoft Excel by implementing a few formulas so that you can keep track of item specifics in much more detail to determine your profitability on individual items and also on collections. As you know from watching my haul videos, I love going out and purchasing things in lots and big collections, but I also love to keep track of that stuff. I want to know when it is I'm making profit and then how much I'm making profit. One of the reasons I want to know when exactly I'm making profit on it is because that helps me psychologically in terms of dealing with buyers who are submitting offers, because once I have made my money back and I'm into the profit range, I'm going to be more willing, for example, to make a deal with someone once I've made $500 profit compared to if I'm at the very beginning starting trying to get my money back from the collection. So without further ado, let me jump into this right here, and I'm just going to start by just showing you as a quick refresher what a blank Microsoft Excel field looks like if by chance you are new and have not seen one before. It is basically divided into a grid format, and you have all these numbered rows and you have these columns that are divided into letters. And so any point on the grid could be easily identified by just pinning down what row and column it corresponds to. So here, for example, we're at E3, here, for example, we're at G11, here we're at J10, and so on and so forth. I'll show you why it's important to know these grid points in just a few moments, but let's go into some of these tabs on the bottom here. And these tabs are divided into different collections that I've purchased. This one here is a purchase that I made in North Syracuse. That's why I call it North Syracuse. This is actually that giant haul video that I did earlier in the year around Christmas time, which I purchased a ton of toys and a lot of comic books. I've actually been focusing on a lot of other collections besides this one. I've been selling a few here or there, but I'm going to start focusing on it more. But since I only have a few things listed in here, I figured it's more digestible to show you a smaller version of it, and then I'll show you a larger version in a moment with a collection that's been listed in much more detail. So let's just start here. What you could see here on top, I've divided things into different labels, and you could put things in bold, as you could see here, just like you'd modify in Microsoft Word. You can make the font larger, you could change the color, and so on and so forth. You could italicize things, underline things, anything you want really you could do. So here in bold, I have the item listed. So here you can see here there's various toys that I've sold so far from it. Then I have the date of the sale. I have the sale method. I just like to keep track of that. Is buy it now, make an offer, counter offer. Maybe I go back and forth with the person, so I might say counter times 2. And I'm going to do a future video that shows you some interesting information in terms of the percentage that items sell in these different formats. Let's go over here. This column here, you could see the sales price. Here you could see the eBay fees associated with that. Here you could see how much money was received on PayPal. Here you can see what the PayPal fees were. Here you could see what the postage was, the listing fee. If I had to pay any state taxes, that obviously won't be relevant if you live in one of the few states that does not collect state tax. So you would want to leave that blank. This one here is all the fees added up together, and then once you've accounted for that, that tells you your profit. Well, that looks all fine and good, but how exactly do you set that up to enter it? And that's what I'm going to show you right here. We're just going to right click and insert a new field right here. So right along this row, and we're just going to make up an item, and I'm just going to call it Frazetta Death Dealer 3. That one above is Death Dealer 2. It's an action figure named after the artist whose last name is Frazetta, and the Death Dealer figure is like a Grim Reaper, just in case you're wondering why it says that. So we're just going to enter the date here, very simple. So we're just going to put 9/29/18, and we're going to put the sale method in. Let's just make it up. Let's just say it went by it now. Now for the sales price, that's very easy. All you have to do is enter that in. Let's just say it sold for $50. So we'll just say $49.99. Or, you know what, if we just want to make it very simple, let's just say $50. And if we want to put the cents in, by the way, you could put 50.00. When it's going to actually default it down to the 50. So, all right, now your eBay fees, I just put for, you know, because I know there's going to be people who are new here, I just put in a flat 10%. That's your eBay fees. It's 10%. Now, if you're a top-rated seller, top-rated seller plus, you get discounts, so you might be more at 9%. In that case, you'd have to modify the field above that I'm going to show you in just a moment. But let's go back up to the item here for a second, because that will actually highlight this function field right here. You see where it says FX? What that's telling you is what mathematical formula, if any, you entered in for this particular column and row. And what I put here is that what I want E to equal to, what I want E2 to equal to, I want it to equal D2 times, that's what that asterisk is, 0.1. In other words, I wanted to take 10% of the sales price. Where's the sales price? In D2. So that's how we get D2. Then we want to multiply that by 10%. So obviously 10% of $34.99 is $3.49. That's how we get it. Now, you could modify this. All you have to do is type up here, and you can modify it to, you know, 0.095, for example. Let's say that's what you're, you know, you were 9.5% for, you know, whatever was getting taken out for eBay fees. I'm just making a number up, but you could just put whatever you want in there. Now, the cool thing is once you have that entered, okay, you could just right click and copy the eBay fee right there and just paste it right into here, and it's not going to paste in the $3.49. What it's going to paste in is the function. So it's going to know to put that 10% of the sales price right in there. So there you go. It's plopped right in there. $5 taken out in eBay fees. Now, one of the other reasons it's important to do this is a lot of people, without doing something like this, they make, especially, it's a very common mistake when you're new at eBay. You make a sale for $50 and you walk around telling everyone that you made $50. You did not make $50. Because you have to keep track, and you maybe in your head you keep track of the postage. You know, you had to send it out for, you know, let's say $5, media mail or something, whatever it was, and you say, all right, well, I really made 45. Well, no, you didn't, because you have to keep track of your eBay fees, and then you have to keep track of your PayPal fees, because remember, PayPal is going to take out 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. Now, to figure out how much you receive from PayPal, that amount that was taken out, rather than doing a formula for that, all you have to do is look on your PayPal account and enter that number right into here, because that will tell you how much you actually received by them. I'm not talking about that it says you received $50. No, you have to look into it a little more detail into your PayPal account, and it will tell you how much you received after the fees were taken out. That's the number you want to enter here. So let's say, I'm going to make something up. Let's say it was $47.99 that you wound up receiving once PayPal took out their 2.9% plus 30%. That's what you enter in there. You could find that information in the PayPal app. You could find it in PayPal desktop. You could find it in the email that PayPal sends you sometimes. Just look at it in detail, and it will tell you sometimes how much you actually wound up receiving. once the fees were taken out. So once we've already accounted for that and we've just entered that in, then all we have to do to figure out the PayPal fees, right? Think about it, is we just have to take D2, which is our sales price, and we subtract from that whatever is in F2. So there you go, D2 right there minus F2. Now, by the way, I'm going to stop right here because I know there's some people listening to this right now who are saying, no, this is too much information. I can't handle this. It's crazy. I'm never going to be able to reproduce this. That's fine. Now, for people who are following along, go ahead and reproduce this to your heart's content. It's not going to cost you anything, obviously. But if you're in that situation, I'm going to show you an option to get in touch with me at the end of the video so I could send you a template with this information in it, so you could just, have it all set for you, so you don't even have to enter in anything with regards to the formula. So I'll talk to you about that towards the end of the video. So bear with me if you're in that situation where you just feel overwhelmed by anything having to do with Excel formulas. But if you're following me along, it's really simple that you're just taking the PayPal fees, the PayPal money that was received, and you're subtracting it from the sales price, and that tells you what your PayPal fees are. So again, we're just going to copy, we're going to paste, and there you go, $2.01 in PayPal fees. Easy. So now enter in the postage. Let's make it very simple. Let's just say it costs $5 to ship the item. Let's say we didn't have any listing fees, and let's say we had New York State taxes. Or you know what? Let's say for people who are starting out new, let's say you had a 30-cent listing fee. So there we go, 30-cent listing fee. Now we get to all the fees. Well, how do we easily calculate that? We just sum up all the fields that were fees, right? So we have E2, we want to add that. E2 is eBay fees. We want to add that to G2, which was PayPal fees. We want to add that to postage, which is H2. We want to add that to listing fees, which is I2, and we want to add that to state taxes, which is J2. So all fees is simply adding all of those together, E2, G2, H2, I2, and J2. That's all it is. So we'll just copy it right there. We'll paste it, and now we have all the fields entered with regards to any fees. So now we want to determine what the profit is. Well, the profit is very simple to figure out. The profit is the sales price, so that's D2, minus all the fees. So it's D2 minus K2. So all you do is put that in the function field, and you just paste it right here, and there you go. That's how much you actually made profit. $37.69, not $50, not $45, $37.69. So on the bottom here, what you can do is you could then keep track of everything from the collection. So here you could keep track of how much of the total sales price there was. How much was there, for example, I'm not going to go over all of them, but how much was there, for example, in postage that you paid out on this collection? How much did you pay out in listing fees? How much did you pay out in all of the fees together? How much profit did you make? Let's look at these two, because you do all of them the same way. All you do here is to get what all the fees are is you're just summing everything in column K. To do that, you just say in the function equals sum, and then in parentheses you say K2 colon K6. That basically says sum up or add up everything from K2 to K6, and that gives you your number down there. And the good thing is whenever you enter anything in here, like, I just entered this field right here, number 3, it will automatically add it to the total down below. Where it won't do that is if you insert something in the very bottom or the very top, then you have to modify the field up here. So for example, if I entered something here in field 7 and I put, let's say, $8.50, now you see there, that did not change it because it was previously set to go from K2 to K6. So what you would have to do is go up here and just change that to a 7. So now it accounts for it. So sometimes you have to modify it. You have to do the same thing if you entered something up here above, because if you're going alphabetical order, you have something that sells that starts with the letter A or something below F, you'd have to enter it here, and then you'd have to go, like for example, let's say we sold something here for $10 more. Okay, it's not going to automatically account for it down here. So what we have to do, see that says K3 to K8, we then have to change that back to K2, because what we did when we inserted that field here, that shifted everything down. So I just want you to know that. Now over here is where you figure out your profit. Your profit is just going to add everything up in column L. That's your profit. So let's go over here, for example, to my Pops collection, my giant Funko Pops collection that I purchased earlier this year. And you can see what this looks like when it's broadened out into lots of sales over time. Now, if you remember, I purchased this entire collection for $200. I still have some left. I have sold most of it at this point, but you can see here how everything was kept track of meticulously in detailed format. Does not take long to enter this stuff, by the way. It's very simple. I do it right when I am printing out my shipping label. That's when I do it. I just enter it right in there, so you can see everything's alphabetized, and you can see the profit for some of these items vary from, some only, made $4 profit per item to others where I'm making, $35 per item, or, here's one that was $44. So, it just depends. But it adds up over time, and what you'll see here at the very end is that, here's one that sold for $50 profit. Right here, I made total over $1,500 on that $200 purchase right there. See? Now that's with $2,500 in gross sales. So you need to know the net, though. You don't want to pay your taxes based on this. You want to pay your taxes based on the net, not on the gross. So you could see over time, there's almost $900 in fees that were taken out. So those are all things that are, things that you want to account for in your taxes for deductions at the end of the year. Now, two other things I want to show you before I wrap up this video in terms of how I like to keep track of these things sometimes. Let me go back over here to North Syracuse. Let's say, for example, let's take this item here that I sold for $15. Okay, now I'm going to take the postage out for a minute, and let's imagine that this is a really heavy item. Okay, and let's just say it's going to possibly cost, surprisingly, we didn't know, but when we enter everything in, it's going to cost actually $15 to ship it, right? Look what happens. Let's say you chose priority mail to ship this item. You just lost $2.24 on the item. Or let's just say you shipped it for $13. Well, now you lost 24 cents on the item. Okay? So you want to make sure this is obviously a very basic example, but you want to make sure sometimes if you have your shipping field set to where you could kind of pick various options once the sale is completed. Let's say, for example, you set it to economy shipping. You want to play around with your options, because you might find that FedEx Smart Post, for example, ships out for $13, but you might find that Parcel Post ships out for $7. So you're going to know all these other variables here once the item's sold. The only thing you got to check into are the postage prices. And so, if your option is between $7 and $13, it's obviously a no-brainer no matter what anyway, but it is helpful sometimes to plug it in just to show how much profit you'd be making on an item. Sometimes actually also when someone sends me an offer, I'll kind of plug in estimates like this just to figure out, all right, how much money am I going to make if I actually do this deal? So, that's another thing, another way you could kind of use this is on an item by item basis once in a while. I don't use it for that a lot, but once in a while I'll take it out just to check into that. The other thing I wanted to show you is for my New York State sales taxes. I keep track of items that were purchased in the state of New York by quarter. So you can see here, this is the first quarter. all items for 2018 that's sold in the state of New York. Here are the items from second quarter that's sold in the state of New York. And so all I do is I basically, if this is something that came out from a collection like I just showed you earlier, I'll just copy and paste the whole thing right into here because it's set up in the same exact type of format. And so then at the end of the quarter, all I have to do, you see here, I just go here to my New York State sales tax column, and I just add up everything from here. You can see J2 to J12. Everything from J2 to J12, I add it up. That tells me I owe $40.70 in state sales tax. So very simple to do. I showed you how to set it up. You might need to go back, pause the video at different points. If you want to reproduce this for yourself, by all means, go ahead. For free. It's pretty simple to reproduce if you have some experience with Excel and you're familiar with computers. Now, if you're not, you have Excel on your computer, you don't want to pay to use one of these expensive or more expensive programs that I showed in the first video, and you just want me to send you a template that looks sort of like this right here, I will do that, and I will also offer you some customer support on it. But just to cover my costs, just depending on, for time, on how many people may be, contacting me about this, I'm going to keep it very, very minimal. So just basically send me an email to primetimetreasure@gmail.com, or if you're in my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, you could easily contact me on Messenger. I interact with a lot of you there. Send me your email address, and I will send you an invoice for $4.99. I will send you one of these templates, and I will also offer with that customer support. So $4.99, yes, $4.99. I'll send you the template with the formulas, and you could then customize it however you want to, and if you need help from there, just ask me and I will help you out. So again, that would just be a PayPal invoice, and you just pay me that way. Then I'll just email you the file, and it's that simple. So just kind of take it from there. We'll see how many people are interested in this. Again, there is no need. I'm not putting this out there to make a sale for people to purchase things. That's why I showed you how to do it for free. It's just if you're not comfortable with that, and you just want the added help of just having someone just send it to you pre-made and everything, again, just to account for my time, I need to put that in there, just to make sure I don't get deluged with hundreds and hundreds of requests all at once. So anyway, I appreciate everyone watching this video. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for those of you who encouraged me to do a series on bookkeeping. I will keep this series open in the future for other bookkeeping ideas for videos. If you have other topics you would like me to do a bookkeeping video on, let me know that, and I will be sure to add a part 4 or a part 5. I don't have others planned as of this moment, but again, if there are other ideas, let me know. Put a comment down below in the comment section or a question. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet. Remember, I have the first live show coming up this week on October 3rd. That's Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, so please be there. We'll cover getting started with eBay, and it'll also be open-ended question format where you could ask me anything you'd like, either with regards to my reselling business, or if you have a personal question you're curious about, I'll be happy to try to answer that as well. Make sure you come by to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. Follow me on Instagram. That's @PrimetimeTreasure. If you want to see a picture of Grandpa Primetime, I put a picture of that up last night if you're curious. It's a hilarious picture. I've talked about him before from Italy when I've showed those Galliano decanters, and it's him in his Galliano decanter outfit. So if you want to see that, go check it out. It's a cool black and white picture. I'll see everyone at the next video. I'm excited going out to the New York State Fairgrounds today with Mrs. Primetime to go to a giant indoor garage sale. So hopefully I'll have a good haul video from that. We'll see. I'll see you all at the next video, everybody. Take care.